Jace Denman here for Flag Family Media. I'm here with head coach Tim Bergstraser of your MSUM Dragons. Coach, it is game week. It's the Central Region Tournament down in Mankato. How has the week or 2 weeks building up to this weekend gone for you guys?
It's been solid. It's been a long 2 weeks. I wish we had had a longer time in the tournament for the NSIC tournament, but I mean that's competition for you, and with a lot of good teams in our league. So it's different having this long of a time not preparing for someone in that first week essentially. So we did take some rest. At the same time, we treated it like a mini preseason.
Right.
Got a lot of reps in still. Had some very intense practices. We had a lot of things that we had to clean up going into this week. And now it helps when we have someone to prepare for. We're still trying to focus on ourselves here primarily. But we do have a lot of things that we still got to clean up as a group, and now we'll start getting the meat and potatoes of who we're playing, and we got a lot of prep here the next 2 or 3 days versus a very good team. So some would think it's nice having 2 weeks off. You could take that good or bad,
right?
But we'll see how we perform on Saturday here.
Well, obviously it's good to get a little bit of rest, to get some guys to heal up some bumps and bruises, etc. But obviously you want to kind of keep that momentum, keep that schedule of playing every weekend. When we look back at the NSIC tournament, obviously you guys came up a little bit short against Winona State. What were your thoughts on that matchup and how that game went?
I didn't like how we performed in the first half, and give credit to Winona. They're a dang good basketball team. They're fighting for their season, and they knew, and I mean they still had their season end short enough than they wanted to be. So. But we didn't have enough fight. In my opinion, I thought we were playing more like a team that we thought we were going to be into the national tournament against a team that was fighting for their life. And again, our guys fought. We just didn't fight long enough, in my opinion. We didn't execute a game plan accordingly, in my opinion, as well. So that was unfortunate to see. And then our guys knew that. After the game, they knew that we didn't handle our job. And that was unfortunate, and we knew that we needed to handle that better. So it's that's just the tournament for you. I mean, you got a lot of good teams. I mean, you look at that bracket going into it. Was it the last 8? 7 of the 8 were in the top 10 in the regional.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you how stinking good our league is, and that was just fun to watch as a spectator. I guess you want to be the one making the run in that tournament.
Yeah.
We've been fortunate the last couple of years, but that's credit to Mankato. They're a dang good basketball team. They're playing very well right now. I mean, they obviously handled Duluth. And then when they're playing really well offensively and they add the defensive side to it, they're a very dangerous team.
When you go into this region now, you're playing against Pittsburgh State out of Kansas, a team you haven't faced this year. 3 out of the other 7 teams that you could potentially face are conference foes. Is it easier then going forward in a tournament where you have a familiar opponent, or is it good to, play against someone you haven't played against before that you got a game plan for, etc., because maybe they don't know you as well on the flip side of it?
Yeah, well, our region, first and foremost, is absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how many good teams make our region, and there's a lot of very good teams that don't make it, and that's just unfortunate on how it's all situated, but it is what it is. I think everybody in our league would say they would rather play an unfamiliar opponent for at least that first round.
Right.
And then, whatever shakes out after that, whatever. But it's always nice, in all of our opinions, I would say it's a consensus that it's nice when you're playing someone different, someone that's not familiar with what you do. But again, whatever shows up in that bracket, you just got to be prepared and ready to play against whoever. So it's it'll be interesting. Pitt State, they're a dang good basketball team. They're a very hot team right now, a very dangerous offensive scoring group. And, I mean, they got a lot of guys that can get hot. A little different style than what we're used to playing in the NSIC, in my opinion, because they just got a bunch of guys that can shake and score. So, it'll be a very, very big day of prep here and making sure. And that could be I don't want to say a downside, but it's more so watching film. Like when you're in the league, you already know, if you played a team once, you go that second, you got to do your necessary prep.
Right.
But it's just more so hey, guys, you know what they all do. You know, how they function and all their moves. That's just a knowing of how it is. But when you're going against a team, you're watching all this film, we got to almost, I don't want to say overkill it where we're just overcoaching them, but we do got to show them a little more to make sure they understand how they do things.
So obviously with prep then you game plan with film. Obviously you're going to probably have film sessions moving onward in a tournament such as this. But otherwise, I mean, is it just focus on the team, focus on your concepts, focus on your actions, what you want to run, and kind of focus on yourself more so than worrying about what the other team does per se?
Yeah, and we've tried to do that a lot this year, to be honest, but especially going into this last week, going into this week, we've been a heavy dose of just focusing on ourselves, and that's what we have to do. We had to get back to our roots, get back to square one, and, just revisit on how we do absolutely everything in our system on both sides of the ball. And I think that's why things been great in this last week and a half for us to kind of do that. So it makes you, we think, is going to be comfortable going into a tournament.
Yeah.
You can throw everything you want at them. But yeah, again, we'll see. They'll probably throw some stuff at us that we haven't worked on, but it's just more so if our guys mature enough to handle these kind of games, these kind of environments coming up.
Potential of 3 games in 4 days down in Mankato. What's it going to take? More specifically, obviously, day one, because that's what we're worried about, first game on the schedule that's in front of you. But what's it going to take to continue to advance in a tournament like this where, if you have one bad game, you're out of the tournament, your season's done. How do you advance each game? What's it going to take to get that done?
It's always, if you want to last in March, you just got to be a bunch of tough SOBs. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And now there's a lot of little things that go into that.
Yeah.
Good to be a tough player, but at the same time, where are you going to be at with your mindset? Are you going to have a soft mindset? Are you going to have a mindset where you're going to lapse on a lot of defensive mistakes, offensive mistakes? It's always going to come down to, I think every coach would always say this, is going to be who's going to defend, who's going to rebound, who's going to take care of the ball. And then who's going to be able to step up and make more winning plays, toughness plays, get to the free throw line more than their opponent, make their free throws. A lot of those things, on top of many other deals, I mean, that's the key components for a lot of us coaches, I would say, to lasting in March. But that gives you a chance to win a game. That's not going to promise you no wins. But if we could focus on those key areas, which we have tried to do for most of this year, that gives us a chance to win. And I think our guys are truly understanding that. Now the biggest thing for our program is we know what to do. Now can we just go execute it?
Right.
I think that's the biggest step for us.
Absolutely. All right, Coach. Well, we'll be down there with you for as long as you're in Mankato. Obviously, hope it's a long stay, but we'll be there calling all the games on our station, WZFG. So best of luck. We'll see you down in Mankato.
Sounds good.
All right. This is Jace Denman alongside head coach Tim Bergstraser for your MSUM Dragons. We'll talk to you soon.